to Centrex Software. In this video, we're going to be talking about the client dashboard, the Advances tab, and the Lenders tab. So let's go ahead and get started. To get into the client dashboard for a client, there's several ways to do that. You've got recently viewed right here. You can always click on the business name. You've got a green arrow over here on the far right. And then you can also click on the business name or the first name or the last name as well of that particular lead or contact in the software. So let's go ahead and click on Al's Laundry Service here, our test dummy. Okay, this is what we call the client dashboard. In the client dashboard is everything relative to this particular contact. So we'll go ahead and start on the far left. You've got the business name will always stack in the top left here. You'll have a co-applicant name. If you have a co-applicant, you can click on that co-applicant name and it'll take you off to that co-applicant contact in the software. You've got the first name, the last name, and the title of the owner of the business. You've got the file type. You've got the status the client is currently in, the stage, and then the status, and then how long they've been in that status. You can always click on the time frame on how long they've been in that status, and it'll pull up the full history of the status changes for that client. And then, of course, you guys can always update the stage and status on the fly as well. Stage here, and then the status here as well at any time. As we scroll down, we've got the customer ID. Anytime you send an email to our support team on an issue for a contact, or you call the support team for an issue on a contact, it's always good to reference the customer ID. It'll help the support team find this contact easily in the software. You've got all your assignments. So if you decide to assign this contact to a servicing company or a partner or any sort of organization in the software, you can always see all your assignments here, and you can always click on change secondary assignment so you can see all your assignments. So you can come in here and see your servicing companies, your partners, your sales reps, your super admin, your teams. Any role that you have in the software or any team that you have in the software will show up right here, and you can assign as appropriate. Click on update assignment and you'll be able to see all your assignments over here on the far left. You've got the date the lead was created, the last date the lead was modified, who it's assigned to on your team, the data source, the campaign. We have encrypted social security numbers, so you can only see the last 4 digits. If there's a birthday on file for this particular lead, you'll be able to see the birthday. You've got the email. The email address is right here. You can always click on the little email icon. It'll pop the screen and you can send an email to a client. There's a few different ways to send emails to the clients in the software. You can click on this envelope here. There's another envelope right here in the corner. And then, of course, if you click on emails as well, there's send an email button as well to send an email to a client. So if I were to click on this envelope here, you can see here I've got 2, where it's coming from. If you want to CC or BCC anyone, the subject line, you can come in here into the WYSIWYG editor and type in your message if you wish to do so longhand, or what you can also do is you can load a nice template in the software as well. So you can see here in my demo account, we've got several different types of templates. We can come in here and load a template any which way we want, and then we can send that template off to the customer. You guys can also attach files from your local computer hard drive, the media library in the software, all your generated PDF documents, all your e-sign documents, or any uploaded files in the software. Okay, you can attach to an email and send off to a customer if you wish to do so. Okay, you've got phone numbers, so you've got home phone, work phone, cell phone. If you want to track a phone call manually in the software, all you have to do is click on a phone number. You've got outgoing and incoming call. What was the call result? Was it connected? Was it busy? Did they hang up on you? The duration. You can always take notes on this call. You can schedule an event type. You can update the status, and then, of course, you can schedule a follow-up call if you wish to do so. You can click on schedule call, and then you can click on save call or save call and email. If you click on save call and email, the email box will automatically pop up like I just showed you, and you can send an email to this client right away, okay? So it doesn't matter which phone number you choose. You can come in here and click any phone number, and you can track phone calls for that particular phone number. Now, if you're using an integrated phone system and there's a click to dial feature, there'll be a little icon next to each one of these. You can click on that icon. It'll automatically start dialing that client in your headset. So you can go to the website at centrexsoftware.com, click on partners, and you can see the different types of phone system we're currently integrated with in the software. You've got the main address on file. We do have an income and expense sheet built into the software, okay? So depending on what industry you're in, you may or may not use this income and expense sheet, but it is available for you. So you can click on View Budget Analysis, and you can come in here and you can see monthly income, liquid assets, other assets, and monthly expenses. What this will do as you type in numbers, so for example, if I start typing in some cash assets here and maybe some other assets here, you can see these numbers at the top are starting to change automatically. If I type in monthly expenses, maybe I do some clothing expenses here. If I do utilities, okay, again, you can see these numbers change. So you've got total income, total expenses, your debt to income ratio, DTI, your cash flow, and your total assets. And then you can click on Save Budget Analysis for this particular client. And then you can click on their name here, take you back to the client dashboard, and it gives you a nice little snapshot of that income and expense sheet right here. Okay, you can also click on Budget Analysis here on the client dashboard, and it'll take you off to the same place. Okay, so a bit of an income and expense sheet built into the software. If you enrolled a client into a billing program, for those of you who are funders and you're funding out of our software, the enrollments tab is where all your funded clients are going to be. Even if you're brokering and you've changed the status of the file to in repayment, all your clients are going to end up in the enrollments tab. So depending on what you have in the enrollments tab, it's going to give you a bit of a snapshot of what's in the enrollments tab. So again, if you're a direct funder, some of these numbers will populate automatically, like next payment date, payment balance, total balance, so on and so forth. In one of the previous videos, we did talk about external form requests and how to set those up. This is where you can send an external form request. So if I click on Send External Form Request, you can see here in the previous video we did new intake form. I can choose that external form request. I can click on Send Request, and we can send that digital application off to the customer. Below external form requests, we have additional information. In the last video, we talked about standard fields versus custom fields. All your standard fields are going to populate in the software over here on the far left-hand side. If you have any custom fields you've built into the software and you've got answers for those custom fields, you can see here, all those custom fields will populate down here on the far left-hand side. Okay, so you can see the answers to those custom fields. And then many of you have opted in for the customer portal. Some of you have it with your fees. You can come into the customer portal section. You can click on Activate. It'll automatically send an email with the password and username and login link to the client. You can see their username, their password's encrypted. You can reset their password. When was the welcome email sent? And then, of course, when was the last time the client logged in? So you can click on Activate. It'll say OK. And then, of course, if you ever want to deactivate a client, you can do so as well. Okay, so those are your customer portal on the left-hand side here. On the right-hand side, we have everything relative to this particular client as far as history and communication. So under the History tab, we have everything ever done. The nice part about our software is anytime anything ever happens in the software, no matter who does it, it's a date and time stamp on who made the change, the date and time the change was made, and what was changed. So you can see here, there has been a lot of changes in my demo account for this particular file. Anytime you make a change, it'll be automatically stored in the software under History. We will jump back to the Advances section here in just a minute. All the calls that you've logged in the software will be right here. Again, if you're using an integrated phone system, these will all come in automatically. But like I showed you over here on the left-hand side, if you click on a phone number and you log this phone call, that log will be right here for you guys to look at. If I jump into emails, every single email you've sent out of the software is date and time stamp. When it was sent, the day it was sent, the time it was sent, where it was sent from, so what user sent it. You guys can always click on the title and the subject of this email, and it'll actually pull up the full HTML or text email you sent off to this particular client. Okay, so if you've sent off a nice looking HTML email like we do here at Centrex Software, you can see that nice looking HTML template here. And then once the client opens the email, you're going to get an open date and time and a little in-system pop-up notification as well that this client opened that email. Okay, so all your email correspondences to the client will be right here. Now, unfortunately, at the moment, our system's only a one-way email system, so you can only email out of the software. If the client responds to the email, you do need to go to your email client. So whether you're using Outlook or Gmail or GoDaddy or whatever type of email system you're using. Again, you can email out of the software. It works great. You can see the open rates and date and time, but again, if that client responds to the email, you're going to want to check out your email client. We've got the Notes tab. Notes tab is obviously very popular. You guys can come in here and put in any sort of note you would like. You can categorize your notes. So is this a sales note, a legal note, a document note? We do have note templates. In one of the first videos, we spoke about building out note templates. You can notify other CRM users of notes when you take a note, and then you can CC an email address on a note as well. And when you click on Save Note, not only will it populate down here, but if you've notified a user or you have CC'd someone for that note, you can see all these notes here. And then, of course, you can categorize all the notes you've already taken by the note type as well. Okay, so notes are very popular in our system. Email marketing. If you've sent a drip email marketing campaign to a client, you're going to see a nice little pie chart here. It's going to show you all the drip email marketing campaigns you've sent to this client, and it's going to show which ones they've opened and which ones they have not opened and which ones they've unsubscribed to. Okay, so if you were to click on the email marketing tab and you were to send out email marketing templates, and this particular client, Al's Laundry Service, was in that email marketing campaign, you'll be able to see some nice statistics here for this particular client and whether or not they open that email. I always love looking at this tab before I call a prospective client or a current client to see if they've opened my emails or not. Okay, you've got the Docs tab. We have a great document manager built into the software. You guys can drag and drop documents into the software anytime you wish. You've got generated PDFs, so anytime you've generated a PDF from the software, it's going to date and timestamp when you generated it and then who generated it. You can always view this document, download this document, or trash this document if you have the permission to do so. You've got e-sign documents, so all the documents that you've sent out for electronic signature. You've got the sent date and time, document title, the status, so is this e-sign document pending, sent, delivered, completed? How many signers are left? Who it was sent by, document type, and then again, you can always view this e-sign document or download it. And then, of course, you've got uploaded files. So anytime you upload a file into the software, you can see those uploaded files. Anytime you want to send out a document for electronic signature, what you're going to do over here on the far right is you're going to click on Generate PDF. So let's go ahead and click on Generate PDF. You're going to be able to choose the document from the Docs tab that you want to send for PDF. You can then click on Send for ClickSign. You can click on Generate PDF, and you can send this document off to this client for electronic signature. Okay, and then of course, if you come back to the client dashboard, you click on Docs, and you come over to eSign Docs, you'll be able to see the status of that electronically signed document. For those of you who need to send big packages for documents, you can always zip up a document. So I can click on Zip Documents. I can choose either my generated PDFs, my eSign docs, my uploaded files, and I can zip up, and that zip file will be stored on your local hard drive. And then, of course, if you don't want to drag and drop documents into the software, you can click on Upload Files, and that will search your local hard drive as well. Okay, so great document manager built into the software. You have a full calendar system built into Centrex Software, so you can come in here and you can schedule a calendar event, and it'll ask you the title, when, the time zone, the location, the description. Okay, and then of course you can come in here, see all your events, and then you can dismiss an event as well. And we've got some pretty cool features in the software where you can have dismissal forms, and anytime you dismiss the client, it can automatically make a status change, and that's in a different training video. Okay, so you can schedule events and you can put due dates on events. You've also got a full task manager built into the software. Okay, so if you come into task, you can see all your tasks. You can create a new task on the fly, and I can see all my tasks that I've built in the software, which will also be in a different training video. You can put a due date on this task, and then you can assign this task to either a user, a team, or the contact on file. So you can actually create a task and assign it to Al's Laundry Service. And when they log into their client portal, they can see that task in the software, and then you can take some notes and click on Save Tasks. Okay, or you can do freeform task entry. So I can click on task here, and I can type in a certain task if I wish to do so, like collect bank statements, and then click on Save Tasks. All your tasks are right here to view, and then you can edit or complete this task in the software. For those of you who need to charge credit cards to clients, you've got credit card data for credit card charges. For those of you who are doing ACH drafts, you can come into bank account and you can put in bank account information as well. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back over to Advances. Advances is a pretty popular section for those of you who are doing business financing or consumer financing in our software. The Advances is where you're going to track all your loan or advance opportunities. For those of you who are in the industry, you know that you could potentially give a loan or an advance to a client multiple times throughout their relationship with you. So if you have a client for many, many years, you may give 3, 4, 5 different types of loans to this client over the course of time. And essentially, you can track those loans or those advance opportunities right here. Okay, so anytime you want to create a new opportunity for a client, you can come to Advances and you can click on New Advance. and this will drop you into the advanced opportunity section where you can now work this particular advance. Okay, now if I come back into Al's Laundry Service here on the far left and I jump into advances, you can see all my advance opportunities here in the software. Okay, so I can also edit a current advance opportunity. So if I come in here and click on this little book with pencil, I can click here and you can see here I've got multiple different types of advances I can look at, and I can edit this particular advance opportunity. So in the advance opportunity section, you can assign this advance opportunity to a sales rep, a funder, which will come from your lenders tab, which we'll talk about just here in a second, an underwriter, or a closer. We can customize these advance assignments for you. So if you want to call underwriter a chaser or a closer or a sales rep or a funder or a broker, we can always customize these for you. In the pricer, you've got the advance type. So is this an add-on advance, a new advance, or a renewal advance? Is it an ACH draft or a credit card holdback for those of you who are actually doing merchant cash advance? Okay, what's the advance amount? What's the repayment period? And is the repayment period in days, weeks, or months? If it's a remit, so for example, if you're doing the credit card holdback, what's the remit? Let's say it's a 20% remit. Or if you're doing the ACH product, what's the factor rate? So let's say it's a 125 factor rate. Okay, you've got the payback amount and the daily payment. This is all calculated automatically. So for example, if I come in here and I say this is a $10,000 advance, okay, and I want it to be 120 days, okay, at a 125 factor rate, you can see here my payback amount is $12,500, and the daily payment is $104.17. You've got lien positions here, and then you've also got programs. Okay, so you can come in here and you can adjust the pricing. On the far left-hand side here, you've got your application, which shows down here below. You've got all your financials for this particular client. You can come in here and put bank statement financials and credit card processing statement financials. You've got documents, so you can do the same exact thing. You can generate PDF documents, send out for e-sign. You can zip up files and upload files. You've got conditions. Conditions are essentially the same thing as documents. You can come in here and say, you know what, the conditions I need for this advance are a site inspection, a contract, an agreement, and you can upload these conditions here, and an underwriter can approve, decline, or trash these conditions in a date and timestamp, and you can always add more conditions on the fly if you wish to do so. You guys can pull credit directly into our software from a few different vendors: Sharper Lending, Fraud Protection Network, Universal Credit Services, directly through TransUnion. If you go to CentrexSoftware.com and look at our partners, you'll be able to see all the different partners we have integrations with for pulling credit. And Decision Logics is the same way. For those of you who need to do bank statement validation, if you've never heard of Decision Logics, they're essentially an organization that validates bank statements are real. So if you guys need to collect bank statements from your clients and you want to verify those bank statements are correct and they're not fake, you can pull a Decision Logic report and it'll validate those bank statements in real time. Okay? For those of you who need to submit to multiple lending institutions, you can come in here and you can do multiple submissions. Okay? So I can click on New Submission. I can package up all the documents I want for this particular submission. I can choose the lending institutions I want to send it to, and it'll pre-populate their contact. And then I can write a bit of a message to these lenders. Or I can load a bit of a template. And then down here at the bottom, I can click on Submit Package. When I click on Submit Package, it's going to take all of these documents, attach it to this email, and send it to all of these lenders on a blind CC. Okay, and then of course, when you have submitted, I can click on View Submission and I can see all my submissions. Let's go ahead and jump into a different advance opportunity to show you what the submissions look like. So maybe we can go into this one here and let's see if this one has some submissions on file. So it does. Okay, so this one's got some submissions on file. You can see the date and time and the lenders that we submitted it to, the emails we sent it to, and then we can also see the documents that we sent for the submission. When you get submissions back, when you get some sort of term sheet back or a response for those submissions, you can come in here from each submission, take notes, and you can status out each submission as well for those of you who want to see the status of each submission and then the note on each submission, whether it's a term sheet, a decline, approval, so on and so forth. Okay, so you've got underwriting notes. You can come in here and take certain notes for certain hard-coded sections like UCC position, tax liens and judgments, underwriting opinion, so on and so forth. You've got participation. So for those of you who are syndicating or participating on files or you have syndication partners participating with you, you can come in here and choose the syndication partners who are syndicating with you or you're participating with. You can choose the amount. If you're a funder and you've got syndication partners participating on your files, you can choose a servicing fee, and that servicing fee can either be based on the advance amount, the payback amount, or the per payment. Okay, and you can track those syndication payments in the software. Okay, commissions. So up here at the top are advance assignments. You've got sales, funder, underwriter, and closer. Once you've made those assignments, you can see here, you can do commissions, an upfront percentage, an upfront dollar amount, a reoccurring percentage, and a recurring dollar amount based on the advance amount, the payback amount, or the profit for that particular advance. Okay, you've got funding info. For those of you who want to fund your clients and your funders, or even if you're a broker and you want this file to end up in the enrollments tab because you want to track estimated percentage completed, and so on and so forth, you have to make sure all the data is in here first before you change the status to in repayment. If you try to change the status of this file to in repayment, it will not let you unless you have all the data filled out. Now, if you're a direct funder, obviously all this data is going to be correct information. So the actual routing number, the actual account number, the name on the account, any fees, so on and so forth. If you're a broker and you don't have this information, you can come in here and you can put in a bunch of zeros. Okay, it can be dummy information because you want this advance to end up in the enrollments tab in the in repayment status so that you can track estimated percentage completed so you can follow up with your clients for renewals. Okay, so under the funding information section, you cannot change the status to in repayment unless all this information is filled out. Once you change the status to in repayment, you're going to have the payments tab here. And for those of you who are funding through our software, just because you've changed the status of the client to in repayment does not mean just yet you're ACH drafting their bank account daily, weekly, or monthly. You do have to come back in here. You have to turn ACH drafting on, and then you have to click on Save File. Okay, so now the system will know that you've got ACH drafting on, and whatever is in the pricer here, the system will start automatically ACH drafting that client every single day. So in this particular case, it's $836 per day and 67 cents. When you've got ACH draft turning on, it'll automatically draft that client daily. If you want to turn ACH drafting off, let's say for a good example, there's a natural disaster in a certain state or the client can't make their payments, so you want to pause their payments, you don't have to change their status out of in repayment. You can just come in here and turn ACH drafting off, and that client will no longer be drafted that particular day. Okay, once you've created an advance opportunity for a certain merchant or for a certain customer or loan opportunity, this is a loan opportunity or advance opportunity, you want to make sure you work the advance on this page. Okay, so if you want to take any notes, take notes over here. If you want to send an email through this link. If you want to track a phone call here. If you want to upload documents, come to the documents section and upload documents here. The reason why we do this is because you want to make sure everything is tied to this particular advance opportunity. If you come back to the client dashboard, Al's Laundry Service here, and you upload documents here and you take notes here, it's not going to be associated with a certain advance opportunity. We all know that every single time you create a new loan or advance opportunity for a client, there's documents and notes and email correspondences that are associated with that advance. Okay, so once you've gotten to the point to where a client has signed an application, or you have a full package from an ISO or a broker or an affiliate, okay, you want to make sure you click on New Advance Opportunity, and then once you've done so, you want to make sure you come in here and you work the advance right here within the software. Okay, right here on this page. This is the best place to work that advance. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into the client dashboard, and then like I said, if we click on the advances section here, you can see all your loan or advance opportunities in the software for this particular client. If you ever need to edit any of the information for this client before you've created an advance opportunity, you can click on Edit Contact here, and in a previous training video, we talked about intake forms and custom fields. On the far left, you've got your categorization of all of your data, and then you've got those fields on the right. So I can click on these categories and I can see that information, okay? And this is a great way to edit. You can click on Save and Exit, or you can click on Save. So if I click on Save and Exit, it does ask me to fill out required fields, so we won't do that here at the moment. I can click on the Contacts tab, and I can drill back into Al's Laundry Service here and the client dashboard. Okay, so this is the client dashboard for you guys to manage each one of your clients, all the history here on the right, and your loan/opportunity advances on the right as well. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump into the Advances tab. In the Advances tab is going to be monitoring all your advances. Okay, your Contacts tab manages all your contacts. We talked about list building in a different video. Okay, but your Advances tab is going to manage all your advance opportunities. You've got your advance total. You've got your payback total. You've got your average factor rate, your average period. You've got your pipeline. Okay, you can click on each one of these pipelines and the advance opportunities will display below. So you can see here I've got a few different advances in each one of these. If you guys want to categorize these data points here, so payment, frequency, factor rate, advance date, I can click on Customize. I can see all the different types of fields I have here. Let's say I want to get rid of a certain field. Okay, I can delete some of these fields here. Let's say I want to get rid of modified. Let's say I want to get rid of campaign. Okay, and then I can also add some as well. So I can come in here, estimated percentage completed. I can choose how many I'd like to see per page. I can use a date and format, and then I can click on Save and Close. And now that'll fully customize this look and feel. Okay, so again, if I click on the Customize button, I can drag and drop these fields up and down, and I can choose new fields or delete fields, click on Save and Close, and I can customize the look and feel of this view here. You can search advances, and you've also got a start date and end date for your advances as well. You've got advanced settings, which we talked about in an earlier video as well. All of these should already be done well by now in the software. You can always go in there and make changes. On the far right-hand side, we've got Advanced Report. You guys can come in here and use different metrics to toggle between different data points. So I can come in here and do Assign To, Advanced Type, All, Date Format, Monthly. I can choose statuses, I can choose Filter, and you guys can run different advanced reports in the software. What you also have in the Advances tab is your Syndicate Report. So I can jump into Syndicate Report, I can choose a syndicate, I can choose a status, last activity, date and time, click on Filter. Same concept, I can click on the Customize section here. I can customize my date, my times, any sort of data points, and I can run reports for my syndicate reports. If you guys have syndication partners that are going to be logging into the software, you can grant them access to these reports here so they can run portfolio performance reports on their participated portfolio. Okay, so that's the Advances tab. Let's go ahead and jump into the Lenders tab. In the Lenders tab is going to be your database of lenders. We give you a few lenders out of the box. At the moment, you cannot edit those lenders. So for example, I believe On Deck Capital is one of those lenders. We've got Can Capital. We've got Elevate Capital for Merchants. I can come into each one of these. I can drill into one. I can take notes on this lender. I can add contacts for this lender. I can see all the advances I'm currently working for this lender, and all the advances will be over here on the far right as well. So you cannot edit an out-of-the-box lender we have in the software, okay? What you can do, however, if I click on the Lenders tab, is I can add a new lender. So if I come in here and click on Add Lender, I can add a lender in the software. Once I've added a lender in the software, I can edit those lenders, okay? Now, in order for lenders to show up in the advanced opportunity section. So if we come back into the Contacts tab and we go back into Al's Laundry Service here, we go to Advances and we click on this particular advance opportunity. In the Funder section here, okay, in order for funders to show up in this drop down, you have to come into the Lenders tab, you have to drill into a certain lender, and you have to activate this lender on the far right. So if I click on Activate, boom, there we go. Now this lender is activated. In order to submit files to a lender, okay, so for example, if I come back into the Contacts tab, I click on Al's Laundry Service one more time, I click into Advances, and I want to jump back into this advance opportunity here, and I come into Submissions, and I want to do a new submission to a series of lenders. In order for lenders to show up here, and in order for their email addresses to show up here, you need to jump into the Lenders tab. You need to drill into a certain lender. You need to not only activate this lender, but you also need to add contacts on file for this lender, okay? So I can type in a name, I can type in an email address, and then when you do that submission, that email address will automatically pop up, and when you click on Submit, it'll submit a file to all these lenders on a blind CC. Okay, so we talked about the Contacts client dashboard, Al's Laundry Service. We talked about advance and loan opportunities and everything within the client dashboard. We talked about the advances tab and looking and monitoring all your advances. And we talked about the lenders tab. Okay. Thank you so much for your time today, and we wish you the best of luck.